To make another video. I got everything planned out though this time instead of chaos like last time. I got my palette ready to go, my water, everything a little more organized. I'm just gonna do maybe a couple little card art paintings, but try to show you some more of this stuff before it disappears like most of my stuff does. Get a grip on it. Okay. Hands free. No, it's not. I just have it under my arm again. Okay. I want to show you a bit the stack of these unfinished. Get some good position. I did one like this before. All I did was I just kind of put a ghost of a figure here, and then I put the stripes for the bandages of a mummy. I sold one on eBay before. I just added some blood coming from it, and that was all I did, and that's all I'll do on that one. I got like 5 of these random restaurant scenes. I just painted random colors everywhere, trying to keep some sort of recognizable visual going. But I did everything real fast without thinking, and I got some pretty good results. But there's also a downside to that, because it confuses you. If you don't know what you're going to paint beforehand, you get confused real easy, and it's pretty painful. But I'm going to work on these and finish them up. There's another random painted. I always have at least one figure, maybe one window, and a moon or a sign outside, and then some walls, floor, maybe a table. But I got 5 of those random ones going. They're mixed in throughout these piles. I want to do more of these too, just the big head and the big eyes, because it's easy, really easy to do those, maybe with something funny written there. Do more of those. And there's just random figures with big heads, because the bigger the head, the easier it is to paint for me. Another big head. I don't really like working on those big figures too much anymore, though. It's just I'd rather have more of a story than just random, or just some stale blank face person looking straight ahead. And I did a bunch of these a couple years ago. This is part of that batch I did, about 10 of them, about snowy scenes. And I put a figure in there walking through the snow person. I'll probably do that on this one as well. I had this one finished, but then I spilled water on it, and it just tore the paint off. It just chipped off. It got stains on it. But it's like a ghost looking out of a mansion window. So I'm going to touch that up. And some abstracts. I was going to try to make a scene out of them. Like this black is the foreground, and the faded part is something in the misty background, maybe. More of my figures where I try to paint random stuff. A lot of those might be considered done, but as an abstract figure, but doesn't really look good enough, up to snuff for me. Boy, I'm gonna set up a different light system in here eventually. But here's another island ghost. But since she's got these things hanging from the sides of her head, I might make one of those Star Wars. That's a whole other story with Star Wars from my past. Some weird memories of that thing, that creature from Star Wars with the worm-like tentacles hanging from her head. We're talking about a whole other level of weirdness. A lot of weird stuff happens when you're a kid, and that was one of them for me. I'll explain that in some other video, but And I was just painting random figure, hoping something would turn out. Kind of a cartoony looking, maybe add white to her eyes and some other weird stuff. I like to sell weird stuff as outsider art because people don't like that outsider stuff. Boy, these don't really sit good against that ugly sign back there, but I probably won't do too many more of these figures. I don't know. It's just painful to work on. Gotta add some more stuff to that one. Christmas theme candles. This was going to be one of the covered bridge. Maybe paint dark door there and a couple dark windows. Finish that up. Flowers. More flowers. I'm going to do more of these too. This is my favorite kind of landscapes to work on. Everything's got like a green, overgrown, mossy look to it. Do more of those, and this you probably can't tell by looking at these two, but these are like 20 years old. I've had them that long. I just kind of keep them around for inspiration because this is pretty easy to paint, and I like the contrast of the black with the colors in it, and it almost looks like it almost looks like a scene there, doesn't it? Like these black things are like figures of people walking on maybe some bridge there, and then the landscape background, maybe a building right here, and it just looks good to me, and people like that kind of stuff too. So I'll either keep those for inspiration or I'll sell them. But if I sell them, then I don't have any ideas. They didn't give me any ideas. That's another thing about. That's what you'll discover as you become more of get 10 or 20 years of being an artist with you. The painting won't actually be the hard part. The hard part will be coming up with the ideas. And that's the truth. There's a ton of stuff you can do with these black surfaces. Ton of stuff. So much stuff I can't even think about it right now. Hooded snow person. Kind of looks like an Eskimo. A tree painting that I never even listed. Seems like it needs more. It needs a figure or something in here. It's another random, mossy, wet, overgrown landscape I'm going to turn that into. Kind of looks like Christmas trees. Maybe I'll darken those up and just make a big Christmas tree patch or something there. But kind of looks more like a swamp colors though. And this was another velvet painting inspired desert scene that I was working on, but I need more dark in there. What's this? I'm going to turn that into something. That's another one of my big inspiration cards because the textures and stuff of it are perfect. It's like a kind of a cityscape close-up scene of like a building. Like this is maybe the back of a donut shop or something, and then there's overgrown bushes there, and then I don't know what that is, but I've been wanting to do a lot of paintings with like the back of small town shops with overgrown bushes in the back and junk laying around, like broken equipment and stuff. Like if it's a donut shop, maybe have a broken donut mixing machine back here, or an old car, grandpa's old car, or something like that. I'll probably be doing a lot of those. And these was another scheme attempt to paint a batch of something fast. And it was going to be, I just added like 3 different colors in black and white. I wanted to make some aliens type stuff with these, but kind of turned into something else. These colors I'm using kind of look like the Deadpool. So That's kind of a theme. I'm going to go with those. And this was an attempt to paint from a comic images. I had a bunch of comics sitting in front of me, and I wanted to paint something. There's a scene just similar to this in the comic, and so I was trying to paint something quick of that. That's the result I got, but it was kind of a lot of work. And this one was supposed to be like a Easter. There's some paintings on eBay that have like a shawl or some cloth hanging over the red cloth hanging over the cross, and that's what I was going to do with this one. Do the same thing because I don't know, there was something about it I liked, so I did some of my own. And this was one of those random Deadpool scenes, but it didn't look like a devil guy, so that's what I turned it into. And he's got a bag of bones. All these were going to be, I'm going to fill that in with white, so they look like bones sticking out of his bag. Got one down there. Deadpool. These are kind of weird. It kind of makes you think about, get into the, I don't know what the word is, dynamics of what people buy. I painted a whole bunch of these as ghosts, but I didn't have any red in it. It was all just like a monotone what this background color was. And those sold like hotcakes. But then I did a batch of like 5 with a red shirt on each one of them, and nobody wanted them when I did that. I don't know why, but so I'm going to take this red out and just make it dim like everything else, and then that'll sell. That's the dynamics of there's like a formula you can follow if you discover the formula. This one it was inspired. I wanted to do a bunch of dinosaur paintings with cool colors, but that was proven to be really difficult for me. Kind of looks like a dull image, so I don't know if that's ever going to work out for me. Deadpool, inspired Deadpool. Here's Deadpool. He's kneeling over. Here's his legs. Here's his arm hanging down. Maybe he's holding something. Here's his head. That was going to be a Joker. Flower. Put something in there. I don't know what. Abstract. And that's looks like my whole pile. And here's one of a Mexican scene, Spanish scene, the woman with her pots. Gotta finish that one up. That's it. So, and that's gonna have to be one video. I'm gonna wrap this video up, and then stop the camera, and then come back and do another video, either talking more about my cards or starting a painting video. So catch you later on the flip side.